Nice. I think about that Steve Vinwood high love before that little boss is more than a feeling. Shout out to those people who are just taken back in time. Like Steph says, this is when I was driving to school as a kid. Well, not her driving, being driven to school.
Yes, I was
being
being driven.
Just being driven to school, listening to different songs like that, singing along, not knowing why she knew them so well, but it's all good. AIRCARE United plays this morning. Now, people, I know you want to sing it. It's still not hard enough to have discussions with AIRCARE. No, first of all, the units don't just throw out cool here. They do out heat as well.
Yes, they do.
One, I know do you remember in April now, so you don't want to wait to July, and I'm like, I think I need no, this is the time you want to get things installed. And I found out some pretty valuable information off air before we came through this morning. You're talking about, I'm going to get right into the HG, what's it? GHG. I have acronym more twisted up with it. GHG.
Yes, greenhouse gases.
Yeah.
So air conditioners are actually one of the, from all of my research, Brendan can, expand, but air conditioning units are one of the largest contributors to GHGs, which is also what's affecting like our climate change and all that.
Right.
So AIRCARE has some new units that will take care of that, so you don't have to feel like you're contributing to that as well.
Yeah, so air conditioning does contribute to climate change ultimately because it's using electricity. Also, the gases within air conditioners, which should be contained and are contained in a properly sealed system, if they are released for any reason, if the unit leaks, if it's damaged or anything like that, they will contribute to global warming. It is a greenhouse gas, the refrigerant inside. The new gases that we have don't actually, so if you recall the ozone layer panic about 20, 30 years ago, the new gases don't contribute to the ozone depletion, but they do still contribute to greenhouse emissions. So, as I said, a system should always be sealed. The previous, or the current gas that's used in most systems is called R410. That has a global warming potential basically as a result of the chemical composition of the gas. But there's a new gas called R32, which we have some systems for, which has 1/3 of the global warming potential of R410. So should it be released for any accidental reason, it's actually not going to be as bad for the environment as what it is. The other thing about R32 is that it's actually more energy efficient. So the systems that we have, they use less gas, but they also are more energy efficient systems. So they use less electricity, keep your electricity bill down, keep you just as cool, but aren't going to be as damaging to the planet.
I'll tell you something. Everything Brendan said just now, you know what people heard? Electricity bill. That's what they heard. They heard. What I need? What I need to be sorting out? What I need to looking at? Because it's gonna be hot. It's gonna be warm.
I already feel like though that it is getting warmer now. Like in the sun, I feel like we're in that in between stage now where in the sun it's hot, you can get hot, and then in the shade you're still cold.
Yeah.
It's like that in between weird.
Yeah, the air hasn't warmed up yet.
It hasn't warmed up. People be jumping in between. I think that has something to do with humidity, I guess. It's where I came from. I keep telling people where I came from. It was hot.
Yeah.
It was Bermuda and Oregon hot. That's how I felt. I'm like, well, I'm sweating and I'm still inside. I don't understand this. Right? Things like that happen. But no. But what I was saying beforehand is people, you don't want to wait until it starts getting that warm to get your units and things like that. That's why you kind of hear. And then, of course, to tell us about the different units that AIRCARE not only service, but they provide as well. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we have two lines of products that we use mostly on the residential side. One's Daikin, which is a good solid tier 1 Japanese brand, and then we have Medea, which is a sort of second tier brand, good quality unit, but more cost effective. So depending on your usage and how much you use it, whether you use it all year round, whether you use it summer, winter, whatever. That it's a good option for some people, and the Daikin is an option if you want to spend a little more. It's a little more energy efficient. As I say, it's got the new R32 gas, so it's less damaging for the environment as well. But it is a little bit more expensive.
It is.
On that same note, though, any potential customers can ask about the energy efficiency ratings of every single one of your units, right? Which, if you're going to make the investment, I think that it's probably one of the most important things that you can ask and look into, is what is the energy efficiency rating. So there are a couple different kinds of ratings. There's a SEER rating, an SEER, an HSPF rating, and an EER rating. But the SEER is probably the most
SEER is the most
relative.
common. Yeah, the SEER is most relevant probably to here. and it's the most common. So the minimum SEER you're allowed to sell in the States as of this year, I think, is 15, maybe 16 in the southern states, 15 in the northern states, something like that. All of our units are well above that now. We go up to about 27.5 on the new R32 systems. So that's, basically the higher the number, the more you're going to save. That's the very short
The
version.
higher the number, the more you save.
Yes, so that's what I was going to say. The SEER is a seasonal energy efficiency ratio.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, look at that. And the higher the number, the better. So I think that we were talking about this earlier. There might be a slightly higher cost, but it would be minimal. The higher energy efficiency rate of the unit
cost
is.
does go up the more.
Well,
your bill is going to go down.
But your bill, your bill throughout the summer would be obviously better.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got a 10, 12-year-old system, it's probably going to be about 13 SEER or something like that when it was new. As they grow older, obviously systems degrade and they do get less efficient. So you might be down at 10 or 11, 12 SEER or something like that. So obviously jumping up to a 26, 27 SEER you're going to notice a big difference.
Right.
It's going to have an impact.
Yeah.
But it's important to remember you do have to maintain the units. Once you invest all that money in new units in your house, you should come up with a planned schedule of maintenance and.
Yeah. So our team can basically offer you with a system. They can also offer you a maintenance plan. If you wanted to look at it, we could also say, well, you've got another 3-4 units in your house. We can take all onto a maintenance plan. Usually twice a year is enough for most people if you're only using it seasonally. So you do it like a nowish time, March, April time, pre-summer check, and then a post-summer preheating season check in October, November time. And that's kind of enough for most people that aren't using their system. If you're running it 24/7, you absolutely need to get it done at least 4 times a year.
I was just thinking about it, right? Actually, you get to somebody's house, right? You see the unit, and you see how hot it is. It's like, hey, you guys don't feel hot? That's all me. That's all me. I'm asking. No, that's the way I'm asking. You turn. Like, anybody else feel hot? Turn that in. You got units all throughout this house. You're gonna have guests over and have them sweating in your living room?
You can't do that.
No, you can't do that. That's not what we do.
No.
Turn it on. But no, I like what you said about that. But, to get things checked out before. Things checked out before, and then of course after summer, because people we want them.
Yeah, we want them. And there's no sense in leaving it dirty all winter. Even if you don't, there's no sense in leaving it dirty from the summer. Your filter be dirty. Your drain. Algae grows in the drain over the summer because you've got water running down that constantly. So you do get a little bit of algae in it. Sometimes you get tree frogs and things that like to live in them too. It happens. So
Seen it.
Yeah, exactly. So the guys will put a vacuum on the drain, suck the algae out of the drain, put a little tablet in there to kind of kill off the algae in the drain pan, that kind of thing, just to make sure you're all nice and clean for next year.
Levels of maintenance. I didn't really. Well, I know of course you clean your filters, but all the other things, the drains and stuff like that. You hear all this? People say you've got units. Shout out to all those who have their AIRCARE units right now. And know the efficiency of the crew. Guys that come out. Like I need engineers, I need techs to come through, look at this, and they come through and they sort out what they need to be sorted out. So this conversation is all about that right now. How many of us have units in our homes? How many of us knew this? Because a lot of things I didn't know, and each time you guys come up, I realize like a little ball of knowledge. And everything just keep spinning it. Thank you.
We try.
We try. Because at the end of the day, your AC, your unit is an investment.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely an investment.
The cost of it, you're not just gonna throw it up there and be like, all right, do your thing now, keep my house cool, or warm for that fact. You're gonna come through and you need to know what's happening with it.
And I think everybody should be empowered and informed before they make a purchase or before they switch maintenance providers or anything like that. You should be informed and you should know what to ask so that you feel better at the end of the day and you get the result that you want for the investment that you're making.
Well done. Now, before we get up out of here, you guys are talking about, I need you to pay attention to what's being said right now. Don't call violently. If you're making a purchase and you go into AIRCARE,
call or go into AIRCARE.
And you say you heard any of this information.
On the radio. We will, if you make a purchase and when we come to do the installation of that purchase, we will give you a free Clear Sky MS air quality unit. So what this does is a small unit that sits on top of your air conditioner, wires into the air conditioner. It uses 1 watt of electricity, which is essentially nothing. But when when your air conditioning is running, what that'll do is that'll produce ions that'll go out into your room, and they'll actually clean the air, freshen the air, break down any molds, bacteria, viruses, all those sort of things that are just naturally present in the air. That'll help to break those down and actually clean and freshen the air in your space.
And you would notice how much cleaner and fresher it is.
You will. I've got them on my units at home, and even down to if I light a fire sometimes, which I do, it actually helps with the smoke smell and keeping the smoke smell down and all that sort of stuff.
Okay.
It works well on pet odors as well,
And
just in
pet
case
odors.
you're worried about that in your house as well.
Yeah,
But it's also safe. It's safe for pets and humans. It's not.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's gotta be.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you walk into someone's house and like, ooh, how many dogs do you have? Like, you smell them.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're concerned about that, these units do work to eliminate the odors.
Yeah.
As well.
Love
But
it.
yeah, call in the next 2 weeks. Make a purchase.
Basically, call by the end of April, make a purchase.
Mm-hmm.
With installation, and we'll install it as part of the installation for free.
That's right. Just mention that you heard.
But
it
you have
here
to
on
mention
Vibe.
that you heard it on Vibe 103 today.
Simple as that. Thank you guys
Yes.
again for coming in. Another informative session. AIRCARE, sending a big shout out to the team. Those guys out there, getting them in. Because you guys gotta show these guys some respect. There's the AC techs, because everyone is, hey, y'all got a nice little, you work for AC. No. You see, understand, these guys were not installing ACs. It's not cool.
No, it's not cool when they're doing
They gotta be
it.
outside,
No.
and they're channeling and doing all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's hot.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
respect the AC guys.
They do work in some challenging conditions. On the commercial side, they're on rooftops. They're usually in unventilated spaces, making other people's lives better. But they are working in tough conditions sometimes. So they do a great job.
Show them some respect, people.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm talking about. Again, to AIRCARE, both for you. Thank you so much for coming. I'll see you guys next month, I guess.
Yes,
Yeah,
you will.
It's time. By that time, there should be a consistent heat coming through.
Yes,
yes,
it will be hot then.
We hope.
Yeah.
We hope. But as we continue right now, man, it's all about Throwback Thursday, 8:27 is the time. Shout out to all my Genesis and